Hello and welcome to Vietnam Journal, our daily English news bulletin on NETVIET VTC10. I'm Ngọc Anh speaking from Hanoi. Every day we'll bring you comprehensive and up-to-date information about Vietnam and following our major stories on Monday. Capital Land launches apartment sale in Hanoi. City talks about Vietnam's interest rate cut and Vietnam to hold its first international balloon festival. Singapore-based Capital Land has recently launched the sale program of its mid and high-end Mulberry Lane apartment project in Hanoi. The event was seen as a spotlight amid Vietnam's frozen real estate market.
With prices ranging from 32 to 40 million dong per meter square, Mulberry Lane offers luxurious living with unit types from 1 bedroom to 3 bedroom. The project also includes special duplexes with double volume spaces and penthouses with access to private rooftop landscape deck. The project apartments will be delivered to customers by the end of 2013. The launching ceremony attracted many people, especially those seeking a living space near Hanoi Center.
Vietnam's Thanh Hóa General Material Joy Stock Company recently broke ground on a cassava powder processing project in Boli Kham Say province of Laos. The groundbreaking event was one of many activities to celebrate the Vietnam-Laos Friendship Year 2012.
Present at the event were Chief of Boli Kham Say Province, Phanoi Mani, Vietnamese Ambassador to Laos, Tam Minh Châu, and many officials from Vietnam's Ha Tinh and Thanh Hóa provinces, covering an area of 26.78 hectares. About 400 kilometers far from Vientiane capital, the factory has an estimated capitalization of $4 million and a desired capacity of 100 tons of products per day. After 18 months of construction, the factory is scheduled to come into operation in late 2013, creating around 100 workplaces.
And following is some other economic news in brief.
The Philippines National Food Authority plans to purchase 120,000 tons of rice from Vietnam or Cambodia for its reverse stocks this year. The Philippines will import rice from Vietnam until 2013 under an agreement signed between the two countries. Cambodia recently expressed the intention to provide rice for Philippines. The Philippines is the largest importer of rice in the world with a record of 2.45 million tons in 2010.
United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization or FAO will provide expertise support for Vietnam in aquaculture, rural development and rice cultivation. Jose Graziano da Silva, FAO Director General, made the statement at the closing ceremony of the 31st FAO Regional Conference for Asia and the Pacific in Hanoi on Friday after 5 working days. The head of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization called for a boost in global agricultural production to help counter soaring food prices and combat global hunger.
The Saigon-Hanoi Commercial Joint Stock Bank or SSB has recently won the Excellent International Payment Bank in 2011 award for the second time. The annual reward is granted by the Bank of New York Mellon, one of the world's most prestigious banks. SFB has the highest straight-through processing standard ratio or SDP of at least 95% for international payment transactions.
The State Bank of Vietnam officially lowered the interest rate cap by 1% from March the 13th, 2012. There are mixed opinions on whether the decision timing is right or not, particularly in the context of high inflation. Our reporter had a conversation with Mr. Brad Cross, Managing Director of Citibank Vietnam, about the rate cut.
As you know, the State Bank of Vietnam has just officially announced the decision to cut the interest rate by 1%. So what do you think about this movement?
As inflation has come down, it's also expected that there would be some lowering of interest rates. I think that the move took some analysts by surprise because with inflation still relatively high at 16.5%, that might be a bit early. On the other hand, you don't want to overshoot. It's important to balance the trade-offs between bringing inflation down and still being able to stimulate growth. It's always difficult for any central banker to manage those trade-offs. I think that this is an anticipated move, and I think timing is not the most important issue. I think the more important issue is the longer-term trend in managing inflation. Fundamentally, I think that it's important for the state bank to continue to keep interest rates relatively high until inflation comes down.
This cut on interest rate is expected to lower the lending interest rate in order to create favorable conditions for businesses. So do you think?
Certainly on the part of borrowers, companies and others which are exposed to Vietnam Dong borrowing have been impacted in a very negative way by high interest rates. And the longer that continues, the more painful it is. In principle, lowering official benchmarks can lead to lower interest rates. In general, I think you'll see the borrowing rates come down a bit. But still, if you look at, in any sense, Vietnam's borrowing rates are still high. They're still high relative to most other countries in the region because Vietnam's inflation remains high. The reduction is good, but there's still a lot of work to be done going forward.
So how does this movement impact on the operation of Citibank in Vietnam, because you are part of the banking system here?
Well, clearly we are working in the Vietnamese banking context, and so interest rates, like all of the banking policies, have a very direct impact on us and our clients. You could see concern in the past around Vietnam Dong borrowing rates being so high, and many companies with access to global capital considering that very, very big differential between the cost that they might have to pay to raise currency in commercial paper markets offshore or borrowing from a parent entity versus the cost of borrowing locally, which continue to be quite high in Vietnam Dong terms. So, and as long as borrowing rates are very high, I think everyone's going to be very careful about how much they borrow for investment. We can continue to see global multinationals have an interest in Vietnam, and how rapidly they build out will also be a product of where interest rates are and their view on the long-term macro stability.
Vietnam Journal. It's not just news, it's life in Vietnam.
Welcome back to our news bulletin. Central Vietnam's province of Bình Thuận has recently been allowed to host the country's first international balloon festival this year. The event is scheduled to take place from April the 26th to May the 1st.
The festival is expected to attract the participation of 20 to 30 balloons of level 7, controlled by about 50 pilots from countries such as Indonesia, Japan, Germany, France, and Belgium. During the daytime, balloons will be flown within the observation range of viewers. At night, the flying team will perform lantern effects. All the costs for the festival will be covered by Thang Company based in Ho Chi Minh City. This is the first event of this kind to be held in Vietnam. If this is successful, the festival will be held annually in Phan Thiết City, Bình Thuận Province.
A tourism seminar titled Vietnam Timeless Charm took place in Kuala Lumpur on March the 17th. The event was aimed to introduce the development of Vietnam's tourism and promote attractive locations of the Southeast Asian country.
At the seminar, Vietnamese ambassador to Malaysia, Nguyễn Hồng Thao, highly appreciated the opportunity to strengthen cultural exchange and increase understanding of each country's history and culture. The Vietnamese embassy always supports the promotion of tourism and activities to introduce Vietnam to Malaysians. The ambassador hopes there will be more transnational tours like Vietnam-Singapore-Malaysia or Vietnam-Thailand-Malaysia and vice versa to attract more Malaysian tourists to Vietnam. Representatives of travel companies from the two countries also presented about famous tourist attractions, cultural specialties, and interesting tours in Vietnam.
Vietnamese people have been trying to restore Dô folk song singing, an intangible cultural heritage of Liep Tuyết village in the outskirts of Hanoi. Let's follow our NETVIET VTC10 reporter to discover this unique traditional music style.
It is the word of mouth that a long time ago one of the four immortal sons of Vietnam, Tan Viên Sinh, paid a visit to Liep Tuyết area. The son taught people how to plant rice. Thanks to him, Liep Tuyết people had abundant crops. However, it was not until 36 years afterward the son came back to Liep Tuyết. The people in the community happily celebrated a festival to welcome the saint. From that festival, Dô folk song was taught by the saint to the people here. To honor the saint, every 36 years, Liep Tuyết people celebrate a Dô folk song singing festival. This is also the reason why Dô folk song was not widely spread as folk song in other regions of Vietnam, such as Xoan folk song or Quan Họ.
Trên thực tế thì bây giờ cũng đã có một quá trình chúng tôi gọi là giải thiên, tức là giải cái thiên ra, không phải giữ chắc cái thiên nữa. Ngày xưa 36 năm em có một hát lần mà chỉ được hát trước trong cái Xuân Ca Cung thôi. Bây giờ người ta có thể hát vào từng đầu năm. Bây giờ là làng Liep Tuyết là năm nào cũng tổ chức hát Dô.
Dô folk song includes two types. The first one is sacred songs that are sung in pagodas or temples every festival. The lyrics remain the same time by time. The second type is love song, which express emotion between male and female, dream of people about the supernatural world. Dô folk song are passed generation by mouth.
Ở trong hội thì là mở hội là đi học cả đi tập thì 3 tháng. Thế mà mở hội có 10 ngày. Từ tháng Giêng thì đến mùng 10 thì dạ đám. Thôn 5 thôn đây thì mang rước kiệu và ra đến Kính Thuần đấy.
Đối với cái giai điệu của hát Dô thì nó khác với hát Quan Họ ở cái điều là hát Dô thì nó có nghĩa là hát lấy đi lấy lại. Từ cái giai điệu cho đến giọng hát, cho đến như thế là cái trang phục, cho đến như thế là cái diễn sướng, cho đến như thế là cái để mà mình phù họa nó cũng khác nhiều.
In the past, with a period of 36 years for a festival, each people in Liep Tuyết could only attend 2 festivals in their life. Nowadays, with the effort of Dô folk song singers, Dô singing has been restored. It can be developed at the Dô Folk Song Club, was set up in 1990. Together with other folk song styles such as swan singing or quan họ, Dô singing has been unique and traditional heritage of Vietnamese people.
The story about the traditional Vietnamese folklore has wrapped up our news bulletin today. For comments and feedbacks, please send us an email to netvietdaily@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. We wish you a happy new week and see you again tomorrow.